Hello and welcome to Easy Mediterranean Cooking. Today we are going to talk about polenta, one of the most important ingredients in the cooking of northern Italy. But what is polenta? Polenta is corn flour. Many people consider it paleo cooking, but it's not really, because corn comes from America, so it was introduced in Italy only after Christopher Columbus went to America and discovered the land. A long time ago, well, not so long, people used to cook polenta in a copper pot called paiolo. As you can see, the paiolo is made of copper, and inside there used to be a man that used to go to the ladies' houses every week, and he would coat with metal the copper pot in order to cook inside of it. So people would go and get the water, hang it onto the fire, put the fire below, and then they would put the polenta directly into the boiling water. This pot used to belong to my grandmother. I have two, this one and this one. I now use it to put flowers inside because they look good, and now I can cook polenta into normal meals. But let's have a look at the garden and how our veggies are growing. Our green beans are good to be climbed upon, and all our experiments are coming to a good point. As you can see, this is our baby purple basil that I planted last week. This is our cherry tree that we planted from the seed. And these are our lemons that came from the seed. You can also look on how our pineapple plant is growing. Also, look at our tomatoes ripening up and our berries. But let's get into the kitchen. So polenta comes in two types. One is made of corn and the other one is still made of corn, but old style corn. Both of these are instant polenta. That means that it doesn't take a long time to cook it. Today we are going to see 4 recipes as usual. The first one is going to be simple polenta with mixed cheeses. The second one is going to be fried polenta with eggs. The third one is a simple sausage ragu. And the fourth one is going to be a little bit more laborious, and we are going to do it with wild boar beef, with red wine, mixed vegetables and herbs. Here there are some dry bay leaves. Now, polenta is really easy to cook. As I showed you before, there are 2 types. The cornstarch, the normal one, and the whole grain one. I'm going to use for this recipe the normal one, but it's exactly the same method. So we take our pot, we put in some water, we heat it up, we put a little water in order to make the salt that we will put inside melt. We take a good bit of salt to put in, otherwise it will have no taste. Come on in, I know you're curious. You want to help me out? Okay, so now we take the polenta and we drop it into the boiling water. Make sure you do it slowly. Now that you've dropped it in, you turn the fire off and you start melting it into the water. Now keep on mixing it and turning it in the same direction until it sticks together and it's nice and solid. Now that your polenta is ready, all you have to do is to serve it with some cheese. If you want to better present it, what you can do is you can make a polenta pastiche with the same ingredients. All you need to do is to take a terrine, take a little bit of polenta and put it at the bottom of the terrine and layer it with butter and cheese. You can use olive oil instead. You can use a mixture of cheeses. All you have to do is to cover up with another layer of polenta, and then you sprinkle the rest of your Parmesan cheese on top. Now all you have to do is to stick it in the oven to make it nice and crispy, so that your top will be all nice and hard and the cheese will melt. You just need 10 minutes. It's ready! Now, it's going to be very hot, so we have to make sure that we do not burn. We can garnish it with walnuts. But what do we do with the rest of our polenta? Polenta is special because you can either eat it soft, serve it in your plate while it's still nice and boiled, or else you can keep it for later and put it in a bowl and let it harden. Once the polenta will be hard, it will take the shape you gave it. As I said, you can give polenta the shape you want. I've put it into a plastic bowl. Now we are going to move to our second recipe, which is fried polenta with eggs. Fried polenta with eggs is a real comfort food. If you come home from the pub and you feel really drunk and you want to eat something that is just going to set your stomach, this is the best recipe you can have. First of all, you chop your polenta in stripes. Place your polenta on a non-stick pan with a circle of oil. You leave the oil to get really hot. Then you put onto it the set polenta. Cover it and leave it to fry. When the polenta has lost all its water, it's time to add in the eggs. 3, 2, 1, go! What it looks like is like a bit of a polenta omelette. For our third recipe to garnish polenta, we need an Italian sausage uncooked. We need some dry onions, some white wine, oil and salt. To start with our sausage ragu, we need to disembowel the sausage. Open it up and take away all the outside and keep only the inside. I took some fresh thyme from the garden and I'm mixing it in. We put a circle of oil in the pan, put some dry onions, and then I throw in my sausage mix. We cover it up and we leave it to sizzle. It's nearly ready, so now what we do? We add a little white wine. We cover it up and we let it simmer. And you know what to do with the rest. Our ragu is ready. Let's put it on a plate and then we will take it by the spoon to put on to our polenta. This is a very, very filling recipe, so you only need a spoon on top of your polenta. So for our wild boar ragu stew, we need some wild boar meat. You need to know a hunter to have it. And you get them to chop it in small squares. Please season it with some herbs to take away that savage taste of this meat. What we do to cook it? First, we need a big huge pot and we need to put in a circle of olive oil, some chopped celery, a mixture of vegetables for broth. We will cover it with water to let the vegetables simmer and soften a bit, like a sort of a broth. When the vegetables have released their water and they made a sort of a concentrated broth, we filter it away and we keep it for later. We leave the vegetables into the pot. We give it a little more oil because then we will add our boar. I promise there will be some for you this time. Why? As you can see, the beef has released all their juices. So now we can add some red wine. After our wild boar has drunk some wine, we cover it up with the water that the vegetables of before have released until we cover the whole thing up. Now, your beef is drowning in the red wine and the vegetable broth. Now it's time to taste it to see if we miss some salt. We add a pinch of coarse salt and we put in, if you like, a bay leaf. And now it's the time to be patient because you have to wait for 4 hours in order for it to be ready. Wow! It was worth to wait. Now we can put it on our Sunday plate. We take some parsley and we make a bed of parsley for our boar. We garnish it with a little bit more parsley. Memories. See you next time for more easy Mediterranean cooking. You will see 4 new recipes, and please don't forget to look at classic up close.